Today, Bitcoin rises as the strength of the economy is back in question. Binance wins a full license to operate in El Salvador, and PayPal's Jose Fernandez de Ponte discusses the firm's vision for its new stablecoin. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Digital currencies are on the rise as the state of the global economy is in question. Weaker than expected data out of China and fears of credit downgrades for major banks had Wall Street selling through the morning. But by noon Eastern, Bitcoin rose back above $29,000, Ether also jumping above $1,840, and Solana climbing to $23.72. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. First up, Binance and blockchain.com are expanding their reach with new licenses. Binance just became the first fully licensed crypto exchange in El Salvador. The exchange announced on Tuesday that it was granted the Bitcoin Services Provider and Digital Assets Services Provider licenses. Of course, El Salvador has been one of the friendliest countries to Bitcoin, making the cryptocurrency legal tender back in 2021. Now, at the same time, crypto brokerage blockchain.com just got a license to operate as a major payments institution in Singapore. The approval clears blockchain.com to handle millions of dollars in transactions. Next, a slew of fake PayPal tokens have hit DeFi platforms since the payment giant launched its stablecoin. Now, according to Dex Screener, dozens of tokens named after PayPal or PYUSD are now trading, with some making huge gains in the past 24 hours, although most likely by the creator buying up a bunch of supply to drive up the price. Bad actors use this tactic to create FOMO and get unlucky investors to buy in. Then they can drain the value of the token. Earlier this year, scammers jumped on the ChatGPT hype by issuing dozens of tokens named after the technology, hoping that investors would buy in. Okay, before our main story, let's talk about the real PayPal stablecoin, PYUSD. The payments processor launched the token yesterday with big promises of how it can move money between millions of crypto users. I spoke to Jose Fernandez de Ponte, PayPal's Senior Vice President and General Manager of Blockchain, Crypto, and Digital Currencies, so that he could walk me through the company's vision for the sector. Before we get into the dynamics of how your stablecoin works, can you explain why you're doing this now, especially given those earlier reports about PayPal halting efforts earlier this year? What made you change your mind? Why now?
Thank you, Mackenzie. We have always said that we were exploring the space, and I don't think that we ever say that we're pausing anything. So we have been on this process for quite a long time, and we decided at the time the right time to do this was now. To your question about why now, we do think that stablecoins are the killer app for blockchain technologies right now. And obviously, we are a payments company. We are very intrigued about technologies that can impact the payment space, and the innate advantages in terms of cost and programmability and settlement time of stablecoins are something that we cannot just sit out. We see that there is institutional interest. We see that there is demand for additional tokens in this space, and we see the regulation moving forward. And that combination of things maybe is the right time to step in.
What does PYUSD unlock for users versus just using fiat currency? What does it unlock for your business, for B2C customers? I'm just really curious about drilling down on that point about why does this work better than fiat?
So this is going to be a process. As we said in the past, there are cost advantages. There are definitely programmability advantages. There are things that you cannot do with fiat. And there is a strong advantage on settlement times. If you think that when you are doing payments with digital currencies, you can settle in times that range from seconds to minutes, when in traditional payment methods, sometimes you're sending a wire internationally, and that can take 3 to 5 days to settle. So when you are a merchant and you're intrigued about accelerating the time that it takes you to receive money, this has a very, very good application for that. But I don't think, and we have been also said this in the past, that the revolution will happen overnight. If you look at the amount of assets that are in stablecoins today, they say around 120 billion. Most of that happens on Web3 and digital environments. And we think that that's going to continue to be the case with some vertical cases like remittances or digital goods for video games and the like. It's going to be a process. I think that we are on the way toward a mainstream adoption, but I don't think that you're going to be paying at your neighborhood store with a stablecoin anytime soon.
So I can't help but think of the Libra DM project There's been a lot of skepticism around big tech commingling with crypto. Have you faced any pushback in developing the stablecoin? Because, I mean, PayPal is a very big company. We already saw that regulators around the world didn't let Facebook do this. And yes, you are a financial institution specifically in the business of payments and not a social media company, but both PayPal and I guess Meta now have a lot of reach. So why are regulators going to let you do this?
Well, I think that you just said it best. We are a regulated financial institution. We have been in this business for more than 20 years. The way that maybe we think about PYUSD is the extension of the PayPal balance that has been around for more than 20 years. And there are millions of people who are used to moving PayPal balance to pay and to send to friends and family. And what we are doing now is we are taking that value proposition that has been around for a long, long while and making it available outside the PayPal ecosystem. We are bringing to bear all the infrastructure that we have built over the years in terms of being regulated in multiple countries, in terms of risk management, in terms of compliance. And we think that that's a key asset that is a difference in the approaches that we are taking.
You mentioned that stablecoin being used for payments in online games and other Web3 apps. Is Web3 gaming a meaningful part of your business that you're planning for, or do you see this more as an experimental testing ground before you deploy PYUSD for the wider use across the ecosystem?
So we think about Web3 gaming as games that are built on blockchains, but we think that the value of stablecoins for gaming goes beyond those games that are specifically built on blockchain technology. If you think about mainstream games, mobile games, games that you would play in your console, that economy is about $100 billion in digital goods that get transacted today. And if you are a developer who are selling digital goods in any of these platforms with the current payment infrastructure, it can take you up to 15 days to receive your proceeds. That's where those advantages for micropayments, for streaming payments, for things like accelerated settlement can be applicable in the whole gaming ecosystem, way beyond the early stage Web3 games that are available today.
Are there any other ways that you see this virtual currency being used across the payments ecosystem? You mentioned in the press release yesterday an imminent Venmo integration. What would that look like?
So what will happen there is that probably for the first time since Venmo became part of the PayPal family, you will be able to send dollar-denominated value from a Venmo account to a PayPal account. That's something that is one of the most requested features from our Venmo users. They want to be able to send not only to friends on Venmo, but also to friends on PayPal. And importantly, it would also allow PayPal merchants to be able to receive value from Venmo users. And it opens a base of millions of additional customers for them. The promise of wallet interoperability, of being able to move value between wallets of different brands and different environments, is one of the important things that stablecoins bring.
Part of why Tether is so popular, for example, is its prolific use in the crypto ecosystem. It's being used virtually everywhere. Is that the kind of presence that you're going for with PYUSD, or do you see it serving a different use case entirely?
We want to meet users where they are today, and users of stablecoins, definitely they are on the crypto ecosystem today. So we do expect that PYUSD will be available at exchanges and wallets and the apps, and we expect that crypto adept users will adopt PYUSD as part of their portfolio of stablecoins. We want to go beyond that. As we said, we are a payments company, and we see interesting use cases in things like remittances and cross-border payments. But we do believe that the early volume will come from the crypto ecosystem.
Okay, so how do you get people outside of PayPal's ecosystem using the coin? Because, as you said, ultimately that's all that matters, meeting the user where they are. USDT and USDC dominate the stablecoin space currently. PayPal, it's bigger than Tether. So you could hypothetically out-market them. Is that the goal here, to eclipse Tether both in terms of market cap and mass use?
We don't think of the goal in terms of the competition. We do think that we are still in very early innings in crypto, and definitely in very early innings in stablecoin. As we said, roughly as of last weekend, I think there were about 120 billion in stablecoin. We don't think that's where it stops. So this is going to be all about enlarging the pie. We see the appetite from users that want alternatives, that they want a market that is less concentrated. And we think that we have a place in that market. But we expect that one of the things that this will do is to increase the pie and increase the move towards stablecoins.
Well, and that's, kind of goes to my larger question of how many more stablecoins do we need, and what utility is PYUSD serving that others aren't?
In terms of differentiation, I think that there are 2 or 3 things that we do better than other things that are in the market today. First of all is obviously the access to our two-sided network. As you were saying, we have a large base of consumers, we have a large base of merchants. So in terms of the distribution and the access and making this accessible to a larger segment of the population, I think that we are in a good position there. The second one where I think that we help is fiat connectivity. We have always said that our role in crypto and digital currencies is trying to build that conduit between fiat and Web3, the ability to move quickly, to acquire PYUSD quickly from your PayPal balance and pay with your bank account or with your debit card, or when you want to sell it and take it out, be able to do it seamlessly. It's something where we believe that we are in a better position as well. And last not least, obviously the regulatory and compliance angle. As we said, we have been in this business for 20, 25 years. What we do is manage a regulated business and manage a strong compliance framework and infrastructure. And we think that is also something that is differential.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today, but we will be back again tomorrow, so we'll see you then.